Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Snort, snort, snort.
Kogan.
Drip. Snort, snort.
I got the drip. And now we come back to a full week of streams again, and this is an epic week because not only will I be making big progress in Street Fighter 6, hitting my 1,000th win and beyond, but we're going to be completing likely 2 of my ongoing playthroughs that we've now been playing for a freaking month, which means finally we will have some new stuff into the rotation for variety. I'm very aware that many people have been upset about the rotation, saying that Street Fighter 6 is one thing. If you like fighting games, you're probably really enjoying my coverage of Street Fighter 6. But not everyone likes fighting games. And for those that don't, I've literally been playing the same 3 RPGs now. In one case for about a month and a half, in another case for about a month, and in another case for about 2 weeks, but I'm barely playing it because I'm balancing with everything else and there's not enough time to really focus on it. So, yeah, I hear you. If you're here for variety like you usually would get on DSP Gaming, sadly you weren't really getting it in the last month and a half. And, I'm sorry about that. Again, we've talked about this many times over the last 30 days. It's because of the game release timing. They all decided, all these game publishers and studios decided to release their insanely lengthy RPGs within 1 month. Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Diablo 4, and Final Fantasy 16 within 1 month is RPG overload and is just too effing much. They really should not have done that. They should have looked at the gaming landscape and said, hey, if we want to release these RPGs and not have them cut into each other and not have them cannibalize each other, then we've got to spread them out. But they didn't do that at all. Within the month of June, that's the other thing that gets me too. June, where typically it's not an exciting gaming month. You've got all these big events to announce all the new games that are coming out or whatever and get all of those release dates set in stone. All of a sudden, they released all their RPGs at the same time. Like, what on earth are they doing? So, I've been doing my best, and as you know as well, but, when Zelda was coming out, I posed the question, what should I play and what shouldn't I? Well, everyone absolutely demanded that I play Zelda. Like, Zelda is a must-play. If you don't play it, you're really missing out on a Game of the Year contender. Okay, I'll play it then. So I do. But then Street Fighter 6 is coming out, which I told you guys I absolutely was going to play. And then Diablo's coming out. And I said to all of you, maybe Diablo's a skip. Maybe this is a game that doesn't make sense right now. There wouldn't be enough time to really focus on it, especially because Diablo is known to be a game that once you beat the main story, there's so much post-game content, and that's really where it's at. Maybe we should say, no, you must play Diablo at launch. You must cash in on the hype. You must this. Okay. All right. And then when that happens, of course, Final Fantasy 16 comes out again. No, you must play it. And I'm just like, you're at the point where you get so much demand for everything, but then you shoot yourself in the foot, which is what's happened. When it's literally either I'm playing a fighting game or I'm playing an insanely lengthy RPG, the variety is missed. And the funny part is, even if you look at the RPGs, they're very different. Zelda is completely different from a game like Diablo, which is completely different from a game like Final Fantasy 16. But sadly, there are people who just don't like the RPG stuff. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's an Americanized RPG, like, say, Fallout or Elder Scrolls, they don't really have interest in these other RPGs. I guess you could call them more Japanese-centric RPGs, correct? Although, Blizzard is not, with Diablo. But you see the point I'm making, is that without enough variety, things will stagnate. And here's the thing. In the last month, things have gone well on DSP Gaming in regards to Street Fighter 6, okay? Overall, my attendance on Street Fighter streams is high. My support on Street Fighter streams is usually high. But everything else has waned. We've lost a ridiculous amount of members on the channel. Before this month started, we were 800 members. We're now at 480, and that's only because this morning, I should give a huge shout out, as I was booting the stream up, Nathan Smith gifted 40 memberships to the channel this morning. 40. And that helps a ton. Thank you so much, Nathan, for supporting DSP Gaming. I really appreciate that. And if you're someone who got a gifted membership this morning from Nathan, be sure to thank him for his generosity. It is always awesome when someone comes in and supports the community in a big way. So the point I'm making here is, in this last month, I've gotten more complaints than anything else from people who just like the variety and don't feel like they've gotten it. And I'm like, well, that's because I did what I was told by my viewing audience. I could have easily said, forget Diablo or forget, Final Fantasy, and we'll do something different instead. And likely then, I also would have gotten the criticism. This is what happens when you're a variety creator like me. You're kind of at the mercy of game release dates. And there's always hype around a big new release, and sadly, you can't just please everyone when they're all at once. It was insanely bad release timing for these companies releasing their RPGs. If anything, you know, I gave Street Fighter 6 a good amount of time, right? We can all agree there. Even though it's funny, I have not played Street Fighter 6 as much as the average person who's trying to play this game and make any content about it or anything like that. That's just true. Most people playing Street Fighter 6 have played it all month, almost nonstop. They focused in on one or two characters that they consider their mains, who they tried to get up to diamond or master level, and they have constantly just sat there learning and streaming. For me, this is the game that's balanced with everything else. Even though I play Street Fighter 6 a lot, every night stream is usually something different, with the exception of Friday night fights, and then every other day stream is something different, right? So, for me, even playing as much of Street Fighter 6 as I had, it's been hard to satisfy, you know. The good news is, 2 of these lengthy RPGs are about to conclude this week. So, with 2 concluding, we now have options to determine what is it that we would like to put into the rotation for variety purposes and break things up so it's not the same games anymore. And I am hoping, admittedly, that this will bring back some attention to the channel. This will bring some people back who maybe were not around in the month of June because they didn't care about fighting games and the RPGs were too boring to them. And hopefully we'll get some more support back as well in the realm of channel side support. Because I'll tell you, the daily streams have been good and tips and everything have been great. But this month, I saw a big decline in things like super chats and memberships. And that's not good. But there's not much I could do about it when I'm doing as much as I possibly can to juggle and play all the new releases. But they're all just more of the same game, you see? So, let's see how it goes. But I'm excited for this week for sure, okay? So welcome back, everyone. By the way, thank you to Luthace, who just gifted 10 memberships to the channel. That's another 10-member bomb. Excuse me, because my allergies today are acting up.
Go. I got the drip going. 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 I got the drip going.
It's like a faucet that's dripping. You can't make it stop.
So what do you want me to do? Have a mute button that every second I'm tapping the mute button just in case I'm gonna have to clear? Like, this is what I mean, these dumb kids. This is what it is. It's dumb kids.